Hi everyone, Lindy's gonna get me set up here and then she's actually not gonna stay in the room today because she's not feeling very well and she doesn't want to cough into the camera. So let me just get on the prepared homestead and then I will start. So if you have been watching my lives, you know that Thursdays are the day that I sort of prepare for my weekend. Technically, I am still working the next day as well, but it's my last live of the week. And so I like to share drink recipes. Sometimes they're alcoholic, sometimes they're not. This week, it happens to be a delicious, refreshing alcoholic beverage. I love sangria. I really, really do. So when we go to places where they serve good sangria, then I order that. But I am kind of a wine purist, so that is the only exception that I'll make, is that the sangria. I don't like spritzers or things like that generally. So this recipe is actually fairly easy. And again, like I said, I say that all the time because making things with herbs or anything is actually pretty easy. And it's just a matter of trying it and, you know, experimenting and things. And also being flexible. That's really super important, I think, in cooking in general, but also in working with herbs, not getting so caught up in the specifics and not trying to be a perfectionist, you know, not being Nazi about it, I guess. Just being relaxed and enjoying the journey. All right, so the recipe that I'm using today is going to be a basil and orange sangria, and we're going to do white wine, and really any kind of white wine. You can use Pinot Grigio, but I am using a Chardonnay because I love Chardonnay, although maybe I shouldn't have used a Chardonnay because I love Chardonnay so much that it's going to seem like it's adulterated. I don't know. Anywho's, I like that word. What I did here, it's equal amounts water and sugar. So it's a half a cup of water, a half a cup of sugar. And yes, you are using sugar. We're making a simple syrup here. You bring that to a simmer, and before you heat it up completely, you're going to want to get some lemon, what is this called? Zest. And it needs to be about a 3-inch piece. I like to use, if I'm trying to get kind of a larger piece, I like to just use a vegetable peeler, but stay near the surface. You don't want that white part, that pulpy part, because that's quite bitter. So you just kind of peel along the top there. It is best to use an organic. Like I said, don't get all caught up in it, but if you can get some that haven't been sprayed, that would be best, simply because otherwise you're getting some of those things in your drink and you don't want that. If you can't get organic, then make sure that you're cleaning it in like a vinegar water solution and then rinsing it off really well to hopefully get as much of the pesticides off as you can. We're not using a massive amount. I used about 3 1-inch pieces, so about 3 inches of lemon peel. And this is one of those moments, people, that you have to be willing to be flexible, because you should be using a regular orange. All I had was this little cutie thing. And you're supposed to be getting, you know, some orange peel. Hi, Sean. Hi, Lindy. What I did, because these don't have a lot of pith on them, I didn't worry too much about just taking the peel off. I peeled a couple of strips of the little cutie off. And it still has the nice orange essential oils in there, and it's going to impart some of that flavor in there. So get a couple of those strips. If you're using a regular orange, do exactly the same thing that I did with the lemon. Use that peeler and just strip the top pieces of the orange off. If it's not organic, make sure to wash it. If it is, wash it with water, but then you don't have to worry about, you know, really getting a little more uptight about getting everything off the peel. All right, so we've got the half cup of sugar, the half cup of water, lemon peel, orange peel, and I take it back. I think it's a 1/4 cup. I just used equal parts. You can really make as much as you want, and I'm not going to be using all of this today. This will be some extra that's set aside that I can use to make like a seltzer, or I can make another one of these sangrias on a different day. In the recipe, I'm loosely following a recipe, I think it was from Food and Wine or something. They called for 8 sprigs of basil. To me, a sprig is fairly large, and I did use 8, but I don't think it was enough. I would, from now on, use more like 12. Honestly, I would use 12 good-sized sprigs like this. Sprigs does not mean a leaf. Sprig is a sprig. It's got a nice piece there, and you're going to be putting that in. So once you bring the water, the sugar, the lemon peel, and the orange peel to a simmer, you're going to put all of these sprigs of basil in and kind of press them under, and then quickly cover. Let it sit anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes for the basil to kind of steep into the water, and for everything, all the lemon and the orange to kind of get in there too. That's what I had to do in advance, because I wasn't going to make you guys sit here watching something steep for 30 minutes. So I did do it in advance. I ended up using some of our purple basil that we have in the back, and it does smell quite basily and tasty. So what I'm going to do is show you how we'd go about then straining our syrup. So I'm using one of those pour over coffee apparatuses. I don't know what you call them exactly. Yep, that's good. And I just have my regular coffee filter in here, and I've poured it in. If this was a tincture, I get a little more picky about like squeezing every last little bit of something out. If you're here, can you say hello? I love to know who's watching, and especially if you're a regular, I like to interact with my friends who are here. And I'm just really curious to know if you're gonna make this, because now tomorrow's Friday, right? So here I am Thursday giving you all the things that you need. Hi, Lindy, for the Friday. So you can go out shopping, tomorrow morning, get all the ingredients you need to make this delicious beverage. Hi, Sean. I see you too. Okay, so I am squeezing just a little, and this is kind of a sticky mess right here because this has got the, that sugar in there. But I do want to get a little bit more of the basil flavor out. So I'm going ahead and squeezing that. And I'm going to make one of our towels really sticky because I need to get the sticky off my hands. All right. So now we have the syrup. Like I said, I am not using all of this syrup. It's the original recipe was for 2 bottles of wine. I'm not having a party. So I just needed 2 cups, and that's what I did. And it's not 2 full cups. This is 2 6-ounce servings, which is technically a serving of wine. Okay, so I have my 12 ounces of white wine poured in here. Like I said, I used a Chardonnay, but feel free to use any kind that you like. It doesn't really matter, or a kind that you have at home. You don't have to get picky about all of this. We're going to add a couple of tablespoons of orange juice. You can do fresh squeezed, or you can use frozen, or you can use a nice, high quality orange juice that you can get, pre-done. Make sure to get all the pulp out of there. You don't want pulp in here. Then we are doing 3 tablespoons of brandy. This is a 2 tablespoons, so I'm going to do 1.5. And we'll put that brandy in there. Then, what else was there? Oh, then the syrup. And we're doing a couple of tablespoons of the syrup. I'm going to, okay, I can't legally say I will be drinking it, but that's funny, guys. All right, so we got our couple of tablespoons of syrup. All right, and like I said, this is super easy here. We're just gonna stir this up. Now, because I absolutely love basil, one of my favorite mixed drinks is a basil lemon drop martini. I love it so much. And it better be basil-y. Like, they better have had fresh basil back there, crush that and work it in and make it basil-y, because if it's not, then it's just a lemon drop and that's not very tasty. I am a basil fan. Love it. So what I would do, honestly, is probably muddle a little more basil in. I would just take a little bit, muddle it, and then strain it and put it into the wine. I'm not going to do it now, but you're more than welcome to do that if you really like basil. Or like I said, add a ton more basil to your syrup. If you're not a basil fan, then maybe try something different. You can do something like sage or something. Now, in order to serve it, and this is when, again, we are just using what we have in the house, right? This is not the best orange to be cutting as a decorative piece within my drink. But do I care? No, not really. I don't care, because no one else is going to be drinking it but me right now. If I was having friends over, I'd probably be a little more particular, but who knows? You can serve this over ice if you want, but if everything in your ingredients was cold, there's really no need to do that. The other thing that you can add, if you feel like it, is some seltzer, like some sort of sparkling water, and it would turn it into kind of a sparkling sangria, especially since it's lighter and it's, you know, hold on. Yes, that's delicious. I would definitely add more basil, but again, that's just me. I really love basil so much. It's got a nice finish there. And I am gonna put some lemon in here as well, because I think that having that floating fruit is really attractive. You might want to cut off that the rind, so you're not getting any more of the bitterness from the rind. And just put a little piece of that lemon in there. And you could even add any kind of berries, especially if they're frozen, to make it cold rather than ice, which will kind of water it down. That's never tasty. You could also do some like herbal ice cubes that have maybe some flowers, some edible flowers or things like that, that would add not only some attractiveness, but also a little bit more flavor. There's lots of different ways that you can do this, but this is super tasty. Oh, hi, Teresa. I didn't see you. See, when I don't have my helper here to push things up, I can't see all the comments as they come in. Anyway, this is really easy, and be flexible. Don't get like, oh, I don't have orange juice. If you don't have orange juice, maybe use grapefruit. Just be creative and use what you have in your house, or since you have a day, you can go shopping and get all the ingredients you need to make this tomorrow. All right? So I think that is it for today. And now Sean and I are going to enjoy our homemade sangrias and and really enjoy our evening and have our weekend off. And I will see you again on Monday. Please join me then. Until next time, health and joy.